I did not know Scott had that in him. I was like, give me more, you're reeling me in.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 18. We don't count the unseen bits. So this is Episode 18. And let me tell you, Molly is out of this villa. Molly is gone. She gone. She's back in London, okay? So that was a brutal dumping. Like, this girl is really gone. They basically dumped her because of Katie's decision. And that's because Katie got the most, I guess, connection with Zach, because she could have easily picked Tyrique. She could have picked anybody else. So it's kind of mad that she really left on a whim. Like, the producers, like, this season is seasoning. I've been saying this from, like, episode 1, like, episode 2, like, yes, this is what it is. Okay, so Molly's gone, they're crying. She's crying, they're comforting her. Everybody's just shocked because, it really could have been any other girl that could have went home because of that situation. Packing their bags. Katie feels awkward because obviously she just got somebody sent home. So Molly's gone. The producers, we're producing. Basically, Katie felt a little bit awkward because she's got this girl sent home, so she kind of didn't feel like she could have helped Molly pack her bags, but Molly was just like, oh, don't feel bad. The funny thing is that, you see her, not Scott, we see Zach basically comforting Molly and like blah, 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 blah. Before Molly left the villa, she kissed Zach. And I'm like, if Zach was so hurt, in the words of Theo, like, he should have left with Molly. He's feeling this way, that way, all that. He should have been, like, left with Molly. And the funny thing is, Catherine said, if it was the other way around, Molly would have left with Zach. I don't know how true that is, but, she probably might have would have. But Zach just like, oh, I feel bad. But that guy, he did not care after the night was over. He did not care. We hear Ella basically telling the girls that Tyrique was kind of avoiding her the entire night, whatnot. We come back to the morning time. Everyone getting up. It's Catherine's birthday. Finally, we get to see Catherine's birthday in the villa. Basically kind of feels down because Molly just left in basically a shocking dumping. So we see a conversation where, Tyrique, Zach, I think Meddy, Scott was also in as well. And I think they were just like talking about the Molly situation. And you can tell that they did not care at all. And you see like Scott side-eyeing the conversation like, yo, your girl just left and you did not care at all. Like, what? Like, it's just like he's chatting up Katie. He's trying to get to know Katie. Tyrique, he didn't really show too much emotion because him and Ella had a chat. And he basically said he missed the game. And he told Ella that straight to her face. Like, oh, you've never been in a relationship and I've been single all this time. And And, he's still going to carry on how he always carry on. And, Ella was asking him, like, why did you bring Katie to the terrace? And he was just like, he's just like, well, he wanted to get picked because he liked the feeling of getting picked, but obviously he'd be sad. And then he was telling the guys, like, it's a win-win that Katie's here and Ella's here. Like, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Like, bro. So Ella was crying, and basically just like, she doesn't want to keep on doing this over again and over again, because, he just basically keep on doing things like that when she's mostly closed off. When new bombshells come into the villa, she talks to them, but she never really gives them time of day and entertain it so much. She really just gives them a nice friendly chat, and that's it, to see where her head is at, and basically that's it. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically trying to compare it and use it against Ella, which is like, what are you doing? Like, Tyrique, he's just messing up big time because, like, even though he's honest with what he does, he's basically making her look like a mug. Basically, after all of that, Catherine gets a text basically saying that it's a heart rate challenge, and everybody's hype. You know, obviously the girls, because, you know, the guys are like, oh, all the girls can dance, and then, you know, Mitchell's like, oh, you know, because the guys, we don't know about the guys, everybody's scared. So next thing you know, the girls go first, and Jess was the first one out, and Jess was like, okay, she was giving something. I forgot who was next. I think it was Whitney who was next, and Whitney was like, oh, like Whitney, I think Ella was after Jess. Whitney was next. Then Leah was next. And then Catherine came out, and Catherine just ate everybody up.
Catherine's got it, man. Where she was shaking it all about. Nothing but love and respect for that.
Catherine got me out racing.
She was very, very, very sexy.
The recoil was bonkers.
I didn't know she had it like that.
You know what? I loved it. I love teasing all of them. I love showing them what they're missing. Like, I love the all.
Catherine ate everybody up. Everybody was shook. Everybody was shocked. You know, we see Tyrique basically bending his head over to see what Catherine got going on in the back. Yeah, what she did with Medi, she put Montel's hands on her butt. Like, Catherine was just eating everybody up. Everybody was shook. Everybody was shocked. Like, oh my gosh. Like, okay. And then the last person who went for the girls was Katie, and, you know, she did her thing. It was something. Mal was just too funny. Like, she was just, like, doing, like, line noses and stuff like that. She was just laughing. She was just having a good time, which I feel like is the most realistic thing that she could have done, which was, just have fun with it, because a lot of people don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Then it was the guys, and, you know, to be honest, I was actually surprised for the guys, because usually the guys really don't give in these competitions. You just see what the girls do, and then that's it. But the guys actually gave something a bit. Because Tyrique, yeah, he gave. Zach, he did a little something. Even Scott, he tried a bit. But then Medi over here. Medi was kissing everybody.
Happy birthday.
Kissing everyone.
He kissed Catherine and said happy birthday. Then he kissed Jess, and I was just like, oh, okay, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of, like, you kissing Catherine. So everybody was shocked that he kissed Catherine. He kissed Jess. He was trying to kiss everybody down the line. I think Katie basically disregarded his kiss, which is kind of funny. But he was just kissing everybody. It was just like, okay, like, he had nothing else to give except for his French kisses, as, you know, they were saying, which was just like, okay, what are you doing here? Mitchell was the plumber. He did his little thing. Sammy was just like, what are you doing? Montel, he was okay. Like, he did something. But yeah, that was it. So at the end we get the results, and the results basically, I'm gonna go get the highlights here. You know, Tyrique was raised by Ella's, which was like, oh, you know, everybody was happy and stuff like that. And then, I think Jess had a lot of the guys. Like, I think Jess raised Mitch's heart rate, Sammy's heart rate, I believe, which was kind of funny because it was like, oh, you raised Sammy's heart rate. Who else that Jess raised? She raised like at least 2 or 3 people. For the girls, Catherine's was raised by Sammy, which was like, everyone was shocked, but, you know, she was like, oh, what? Medi's was raised by Catherine's. Ella's was raised by Sammy's, which was kind of funny because all the girls were basically teasing Tyrique.
Ty, unhappy.
Overall,
they're just like, oh, because obviously everybody in the villa by now heard what Tyrique was going on about, how he basically want to act like he's single, which he is, but, you know, you come to Love Island to obviously change that and to get into a relationship, do you not? Like, why are you on this show? You're on the show for a reason. You're not on the show just to date a bunch of people and then leave. Like, even though that's basically how it is, you just come on the show and date people and leave, but you're on the show to actually find a true connection. Like, that's what they made the show for. And he's not, you know, actually treating the show like it is. But obviously, that was it. You know, the girls laughed. Like, basically, the heart rate challenge is only for people who really are sensitive about who raised whose heart rate. I mean, obviously, since Tyrique's heart rate was raised by Ella, you know, she's fine. She was fine. But really, if somebody's in a couple that's kind of insecure about the whole, you know, results of the heart rate challenge, that's what makes a big impact, because, you know, people, a lot of the girls really laughed it off, because it doesn't really mean a lot, because a lot of people whose heart rate was raised by somebody else's, they're necessarily they're still, whoever's in a couple still stays in a couple even after the show. Like, it happens a lot of times. Like, a lot of these results don't really mean much to people's relationship. It would stir a lot of drama, though. People might be like, oh, do you have an attraction to this person, da 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 da. But one thing I want to say is Zach and Whitney, Zach, I'm
not gonna lie, I'm having chats in the morning.
I feel like Whitney and Zach have something going on, because when Zach came out, Whitney, I think he kissed Whitney or tried to kiss Whitney or something like that. And Whitney was like, I guess, coming up to kiss him. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? It was just like, girl, you please stop. But it seems like they got something going on over there, because, you know, he was basically shocked by her performance. She was definitely shocked by his performance, because her heart rate was raised by Zach as well. So what's going on over there? Also, we see the previews, and we basically see Mehdi and Whitney chat, and basically he's, I guess, has a problem with how the challenge went on. And then Whitney was like, you know, you were kissing everybody in that challenge. Like, what was going on over here?
You're literally, honestly draining all my energy.
Well, you're out there kissing all the girls. You have energy, honey.
Oh my god, you don't even make sense.
And, you know, he gets up mid-conversation, leaves, and basically like, oh, you have something to say to me, just say it, da da da. So I feel like tomorrow's episode is about to be another big situation between Whitney and Mehdi. Obviously, Whitney actually likes Mehdi for real. Like, she obviously has a lot of feelings for him, so which is kind of like, oh my goodness. But that was the preview for tomorrow night's episode. Also, in this episode, we kind of hear a comment that Mitchell made when the results were being, like, said. Mitchell basically was like, I think he was talking to Ella. He was like, oh, that's fine because it was only meds, right? Because I think somebody's heart rate was raised by Mehdi or something like that. And they were like, that's fine because it was only Mehdi. And I'm like, he probably clocking the tea. Like, a lot of people don't care how Mehdi acts around the villa because it's only Mehdi. Because obviously, if you have been on Twitter, you know what's the comments about Mehdi. So a lot of people kind of don't really be fazed by what Mehdi does. But what Mehdi does is very concerning. You know, if anybody else was kissing everybody else during a challenge like that, it would have raised a lot of red flags. You know, no other guy in that villa would have gotten away with kissing everybody in that challenge and no harm, no foul. Like, no, they would have not gotten away at all. So, but Mitchell was like, oh, that's only because it's Mehdi. So I feel like, I mean, he's a very messy dude, very dramatic, very like, what are you doing here? But he be clocking some tea a couple times. But anyway, guys, so this is episode 18 of Love Island Reviews. And anyway, if you like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.